Hey guys, welcome back. Today's viewer question is from Andrei K, and he wants to know more about how to prevent memory loss when you disconnect the battery to replace it or make some other kind of repair. So what is memory loss and why would you want to prevent it? So right off the top of my head I can think of three reasons. The first one is you don't want to lose your memory presets in your radio. And I know that doesn't sound like a big thing, but you could have a fancy radio where you've got one of those built-in equalizers and crossovers that could take some time to reset all of your programmed settings. Or you could have a fancy anti-theft code and you don't know the code and you don't want to go looking for it. And the second reason would be is if your home state is participating in emission inspections, you don't want to disconnect the battery before you head in for one of those tests because it may cause you to fail for having your monitors not ready or run to completion, and then you'd have to go drive the car and perform a drive cycle in order to pass your emission test. And the third reason I can think of is you've got a check engine light and you can't fix it, and so you're going to take it in to a mechanic or a shop and you might be having a battery problem, and you don't want to replace the battery because if you disconnect the battery you may reset the check engine light, and then you'll also lose the freeze frame data when the check engine light was illuminated, and you also may lose the learned fuel trim strategies that the mechanic is going to want to see in order to help him diagnose the problem. So that's why they have these things right here. Excuse me. This is a computer memory saver, and on one end you plug it into your cigarette lighter plug, and then on this other end you plug in a 9-volt battery, or you can even remove this and then plug in some alligator clips and then connect it to a spare car battery. And then when OBD2 came out, these came along where you can just plug this into your diagnostic link connector right into the OBD2 thing and hook it up to a car battery, or they've even got an adapter for a 9-volt battery. So by doing that, it provides just a small amount of electricity just to keep the memory from erasing itself in the PCM or the modules or the car stereo. So usually when I'm doing things like this, I usually try to work with what I have on hand, and I don't have any of these things, and these tools cost anywhere from $10 to $20 on Amazon. So I started digging through my junk drawer and I found this, and this, I'm sure we all have about 5 of these wound up in our kitchen junk drawer from electronic devices that are either broken or no longer working. And so I started looking at the label and the ratings, the power ratings of this, and I found one, and it's too small to show you, so I just made a label. And this one is rated at 14 volts at 1.0 amps. And I think that's going to be just close enough to keep the memory in my car when I disconnect the battery. And what I've done is it had one of these proprietary barrel type connectors, and what I did is I just cut it off and I put on some alligator clips that I had laying around. So let me give you a little demonstration of how this would work so you can disconnect the battery and make your repair without erasing your memory. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to turn the car to ACC to turn the radio on. And you can see my time in there. It's 3:02. And you can see on my little battery voltmeter I've got 12.24 volts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in these alligator clips to my battery terminals on my car here. Okay, I've got those connected. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this into the wall. And then just to confirm I'm not going to blow anything up, I want to make sure this thing is rated properly. So I'm going to use my DC amp clamp. And we can see that this little charger is putting out 1.1 amps. And let's go take a reading of the voltmeter just to, because I'm curious. So we can see the that little transformer is pumping out a pretty good amount of power. 14 volts at 1 amp, and it caused the battery voltage to raise from 12.24 to 12.6. Okay, so now we're ready to disconnect my battery. So I've already got the negative terminal on the battery loosened. I'm going to take that off right now. And I've got a bungee cord right here. I'm going to stick it on here so it doesn't fall back. Okay, so now I've got my battery disconnected. I could remove it or do whatever I want. And now take a look at my reading on the amp clamp. We can see the amperage has dropped from 1.1 amps all the way down to 0.2 amps. So it's not working anymore. There's no more current going through because there's no load like the battery. It's just supplying just a small amount of current to the capacitors and whatnot in the computer. And let's go take a look at the voltmeter again. So we can see it's putting out 14.1, or it's reading 14.1 volts. Just how that little transformer is rated. Okay, so now let's put our battery terminal back. We've replaced the battery or done whatever we need to do. And take a look at our reading. So it went right back up to that 1 amp reading. And I'm going to disconnect this now. And now let's go back into the car and see if the clock and the radio reset. Okay, so we still have the clock set in the radio, so that means it means the radio didn't lose power. It didn't reset itself. Okay, Andrei, hope you found that helpful. Thanks for this neat question. I had fun doing this. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.